Was it the right man? Well, on cross-examination, the defense really tried to push the envelope there. Let's talk about it again with our guest this morning in Columbia, South Carolina, former prosecutor and SLED agent Tommy Pope, and in New York, trial attorney Bruce Rosenberg. Bruce, no one is, I don't think the defense is saying, oh, we don't believe you, we think you're lying. But what they're saying is, we think this is a misidentification. And they've got a couple things going for them, the defense, in that there was a misidentified lineup. Instead of number 3, it was number 4, and there's this whole back and forth, which the defense is making a big deal out of. The other thing is the lighting was poor. No one else was able to identify him. Your thoughts overall, though, on the effectiveness of this witness who says, I'm 2,000% sure it was that dude?
Well, I think his demeanor and what he testified, that his delivery was very, very appealing and very straightforward. I think that on cross, the bottom line is that he was on drugs. He had been drinking. The lighting, all these issues, these technical issues, come into play, and you have to ask, how could he be so sure? Now, I think the defense is correct in harping and pointing that out and pounding on that point, because that's the only witness who has identified the defendant. And I think that if the jury questions his ability to truly have identified through that process with a correct photo and a correct number, not being inebriated or on drugs, that's the question at hand. And I think the defense has to invest in convincing the jury that he's not accurate in his identification.
Tommy, he admitted he was drinking Coronas and doing Coke with his friends. He says he didn't smoke weed, the others did. How does drugs affect jurors typically? Do they discount witnesses? Has that changed over the years? And how do you think it'll factor here?
I think it has changed over the years. It used to be, you automatically discounted any witness. It's the old mama says nothing good happens after midnight. If they were doing drugs, it's almost you kind of get what you deserve. But I think that's less true now. I think, too, again, if we have that corroborating evidence of the gun bullet casings, of the notebook, then suddenly they look at him and take it at face value. And so I think, ultimately, smoking weed or cocaine or whatever is not a death penalty offense. So I don't think the jurors look at it as you get what you deserve like they may have in the past.
Yeah. Bruce, what is going to make the difference here in this case? Is it the defense doctor or is it these eyewitnesses? What do you think is going to really move the ball one way or another?
I think that we have to wait and see what other evidence they come up with, DNA-wise or identification-wise. I think the doctor's testimony is big. Was he physically capable of pulling a trigger and shooting a weapon in the manner that had to have happened in order to commit these murders? I think the question of identification again is one that the jury has to look at the witness and say, is this somebody we believe, and were they inebriated or not? So I think we have yet to see.
Yeah, we'll see more coming up in about 4 minutes. Tommy Pope, Bruce Rosenberg, thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. Valuable time this morning.